I hope that helps a little bit and it gives you an idea of where I'm at, and maybe you can bring a path off on that one.
You, I first off, thank you for sharing all that. You're definitely making progress in the right areas, and there's a couple things you said, and hopefully I can remember on all the things that I want to say here. But
Yeah.
I'll start with, it sounds like to me where you're kind of you know you're getting on this path, and you say on a level that you kind of know, like you're here for, Trina, and on a surface level you have this feeling, but you have this deeper intuition and want to know what it is you're actually here for in this form. And it sounds like to me you want to discover your purpose.
Yeah.
You're looking for meaning. And I just want to ensure you that this path is something that eventually leads us to discovering whatever it is that we were meant to do here, whatever we were meant to embody in this current form. And that's just, it's something that once the mind becomes more and more silent, we it becomes more apparent to us what it is exactly that our heart and our passion is towards. And whatever our passion, like for me, I had no clue throughout my life what I wanted to do, and I was constantly just doing whatever to keep myself occupied. And as the mind began to fall silent, I started to realize that what I wanted to do and what I loved doing was talking
Yeah.
about these matters, to express these understandings. And when I sit down and I'm in a moment where I could either choose A, B, or C, I always ended up choosing this. And that's how we know. That's how we know when we're presented with all options, and we say, out of anything I could possibly do in this given moment, this is what I want to do. This is a good indication that we're leaning towards purpose.
Yeah.
Now, another thing you mentioned was this this curiosity about how long, or when, with the beginning and the end. And I just want to share with you that there is no beginning or end. what
Yeah.
what what we are is eternally present, and eternal doesn't indicate a moment in time. So for there to be a beginning and end, there would have to be a cause and effect.
Yeah.
And there is no cause or effect for creation. Manifestation is simply a and a it's awareness, or consciousness is nature to manifest. There is no reason, there is no purpose for that manifestation. And there is no start or beginning to awareness. Like we kind of talked about last week, neither of us have ever experienced the start or beginning of ourselves, and nobody has ever experienced the end. We have seen the end of a body, but that doesn't indicate that there's an end to consciousness. So
No.
it's not, we can't go beyond this experientially, but we can at least conclude that if nobody has ever experienced the appearance or disappearance of ourselves, that we can rationalize and say that what we essentially are is eternal. Now, if there was evidence suggesting otherwise, then we'd have to rule that out.
Of an experience that took place when I was a child. And there was this immense healing to it. And I was able to see myself, which is not myself. Like I know that, but I've identified that way for so long. And so to go back there and talk to 6-year-old version, my experience, that version, and say, hey, listen, none of this is you. This is just an experience that you're having, and it's a bad one. And listen, you're going to find strength in it. And everybody has worst day ever type thing. And it's how you rise out of it that matters. And don't let it hurt your nature. You know, like I had this conversation as the observer. I shouldn't be interacting, but I did.
That as well. So neither one of you should really concern yourself with purpose. And the reason why I say that is because if we're going to even say that there is a purpose, the only true purpose that we have is to awaken from this illusion of separation. If we're going to say that anything is a purpose, beyond that, whatever the creator wants to manifest in us through this form is just a byproduct of discovering who we are and awakening from this illusion. It's something that's going to inevitably happen just from fulfilling the only true purpose that we have. So that's for starters. And the other thing is I'm really glad that you brought up this experience that you had revisiting the younger version of yourself. As we go down this path and we become more and more aware, our dark aspects of ourselves, our shadows, the things that we've been suppressing our whole life, they begin to come to the surface. And it's all for the simple fact to shine the lights of awareness on these things and to liberate ourselves once and for all from these things that we are suppressing. We can't evolve from these things until we finally come face to face with it, and not even face to face, to literally to become one with whatever that experience is. Because if we're just viewing it, then there's still distance between us and that emotion or that experience. We want to be closer than close. We want to be so intimate with whatever it is that we are experiencing or facing that we literally embrace it as ourselves. We take it in to, we become one with whatever that is. And by doing so, we liberate ourselves from whatever it is that we are experiencing. So this experience that you had is a sign that you're moving in the right direction. These things are coming up to the surface because you're being more aware. You're embodying more of your true essence. And the great thing about this process is that as we become increasingly aware and we move more into our true essence, the biggest and baddest monsters are always going to be the first ones to appear. So I just had this me and Gabe had a, you know, our collaboration not too long ago, and he made a great analogy about exactly what I'm saying now. You guys are aware of those little Russian dolls where you pop one open and then there's a smaller one and then there's a smaller one. So as these things come to the surface, you're always going to start with the biggest and baddest monster, and then it'll move down to the smaller ones and and until to a point where there's nothing left. We've faced all the deepest and darkest aspects of ourselves, and we've integrated it into our being. We're no longer scared or anxious or depressed about these things. We've shine our awareness on it, and we've accepted it. That's the big, probably the big key word there is acceptance. And we're not saying that we're physically or mentally saying we accept this thing. We're just, like I said, being so close to it that there is no rejection. We literally become one with this emotion, this thought, or this experience. So it's a great it's a great experience to have, and it shows how you're moving through this path. So give yourself all the credit. And yeah, no, I just want to say that you both are doing very well. So I'm proud of you guys staying staying on top of the, and Tony, I just want you guys to know, you don't have to formally sit down in meditation, eyes closed, to be aware. So we can contemplate the nature of ourselves and reality all day long throughout our experience. And an easy way to make ourselves more present so that we can be more aware is one of those things you mentioned, Tony, and that was, focusing on our breath. Our breath is one of the most subtle forms of experience next to our true nature. And when we bring our attention to our breath, it's almost impossible to think about anything else. So we're almost bringing ourselves as closely possible to the present. And by doing so, by just being present, you're already facilitating these changes and shifting this identity. And the more and more we do this, the more and more we, so to speak, visit the present, we're strengthening this connection as our true essence. And we also, from that space, are able to see when a thought appears, or see when our anxiety appears, and then we can, in that moment, we can see clearly that we aren't those things, that we are simply the witness of them. So beautiful. I really appreciate you guys sharing those two things.
Thank you.
Yeah. So